drive them away. We can beat them just for one day.
So here we are, right in the place where it happened every Saturday night. We were entertained, we rocked and we rolled, and we sang our hearts out, with great thanks to our very own Mr. Paul Barsi. Woo!
Hi.
Paul, how did you come up with the idea to entertain us every Saturday during lockdown?
Well, when lockdown happened on the Friday, it was a surreal experience. It was weird.
Yeah.
It was nothing like anybody. We'd never experienced it before. And I remember sitting in the conservatory there and thinking, right, I can't do any gigs anymore. And I said to my daughter, shall I do a gig in the garden tomorrow night? She said, oh, good idea. And so set the PA system up, went live on Facebook and did it. And it was great. It was just really enjoyable. And again, it was a weird experience because nobody claps at the end of, so I'd literally play into the conservatory doors and nobody clapped. So then that was that, and I had no plans to take it any further. It was a one-off, but then obviously we all realised that lockdown wasn't going away.
Yeah.
And it just became, we went for the next week, and it just became a bit bigger than I really imagined really, yeah.
Well, it did become a lot bigger than you could have imagined, because it rolled into not just people from Merthyr Tydfil, but people from all over the world actually logging in and watching you sing. What made you decide to actually use it to generate and raise some money for local charities?
Well, I think that was after 3 weeks, I think. I think it was after 3 weeks. I'd looked at the views that I had, and I think after the third week, there was 3,500 people had viewed the concert. So I just had the idea, and again I put it out to the people on Facebook. I said, look, there's 3,500 of you watching this. If everybody gives £1, what do you think? And everybody said, yeah, go for it. And that was it really. Then I set up the GoFundMe thing, and I think within 48 hours we'd hit the £3,500 mark, which again was incredible. And of course I didn't want to stop it then, because it gathered a bit of a momentum, and
it did.
We just let it go then,
It did. And I think people like myself then, who had been watching you from the start, kept on asking you to continue it, didn't we, every Saturday night?
Yeah, and then the requests started then, right. Because I opened a can of worms the one night and I said, does anybody have a request? And I was just getting inundated with these messages, can you learn this? So it was great for me from a playing point of view. I was getting to learn 5 or 6 different songs every week, which was great.
What was one of the funniest requests that you had during this time?
Well, we all know Baby Lamb, don't we?
We do know Baby Lamb. We all know Baby Lamb.
Baby Lamb lives up in the flats there, and she's really enjoyed lockdown. I know she's retired, and the one night I could hear her shouting, Paul, sing Elvis for me. So anyway, I did Elvis for her, but then she asked for Elvis every week. Yeah. But in all fairness, she came down and she gave me some money to the fund, and it made it all, because it wasn't just Baby Lamb. There was kids sitting up on the bank there, watching it and shouting, and it was great. It was a real, it was a great experience. The whole thing was.
So I know that I said that lots of local people watched it, and as you said, it just rolled, didn't it? It went from 3,000, 3,500, and then it went up in numbers as well. And then friends of ours and other people from all over the world started linking in. So any plans for a world tour now, Paul?
Absolutely, yeah. It's all going to be planned now after the lockdown. There was quite a lot of people from, because I worked abroad for a bit. I have some good friends in America, in the south of France. Australia, Italy, and again, people who have nothing to do with Merthyr or use the NHS, they were giving money as well, which was great. And of course, I had their requests as well.
Yeah, you
fabulous.
Did. I can't go without talking about this wonderful piece of artwork that stands behind you. Do you want to talk us through that, Paul?
I knew nothing about this. I think again, this was after 3 weeks. And I'd started my gig, and then all of a sudden somebody came round the corner there, and it was Thomas Llewellyn, who's his trade name, I suppose, is T2 Sugars, and he'd gone. I think somebody had recommended that he do a painting, and he did it in a morning, and it was just incredible. It blew me away. I thought it was such a lovely gesture for somebody who doesn't know me, doesn't know anything about me, and they took the time to make that paint, and I look quite cool really as well. I like the chisel bit.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's really, really, really nice. And I saw him I took some beers up for him then just to say thank you, and we had £5,000 there. So he said you have to scrub that off because obviously it's gone over 5,000, and he wants to redo some of the lettering. He's such a perfectionist. But yeah, T2 Sugar is a great guy, and I was really touched by that. It was incredible.
It is fantastic.
Where am I going to put it now, though?
Exactly, and I think that's the thing we need to discuss is, we're looking about suggestions now to see where it can go from here. So any ideas, Paul?
I wanted to go to the museum, I do. And again, not to make a big thing about what I've done, because what I've done is just played the guitar and everybody else has been kind by giving money. But I it'd be a shame for it to not exist anymore.
Yeah.
And I'd like maybe some little part of the museum, this is what we did during lockdown, and just keep the painting there. That would be great.
I think that is a fantastic idea, because not only yourself as a local hero who's been raising money, but also keeping people entertained as well. I know for this young man, for T2 Sugars, he's done other artwork which has really helped people keep happy and motivated during lockdown. So I think combined, I think that's the suggestion we'll definitely take to Martha Park and see if we can have some sort of COVID,
yeah, of course. Yeah. People will always ask when they what happened during COVID-19 and lockdown, and I think it tells a story. But what you said, but there, the hero bit, that's not entirely true, is it really?
Well, I don't know. Let's talk about how much you raised. How much did you raise in the end?
Yes, again, right, the hero bit, and people make a big, huge fuss if I see them out and about and they say, oh, you've done amazing. All I've done is play the guitar, and I would have been playing somewhere anyway. If it wasn't lockdown, I would have been playing in the Lord Raglan or in the Live Lounge or whatever. So I only played the guitar, and it was the people of not just Mytton and the surrounding areas, and people from abroad who were really generous in giving the money. So I think they are the ones that need to be applauded, really, for what they did.
Yeah.
I was just the guy that had the pleasure of giving the money out to nurses and hospitals and nursing homes and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I was the lucky guy, really.
I guess so, and I can see what you're saying, but I think as well, from my perspective, when people found themselves in this really strange situation that none of us could have foreseen, it was unprecedented, and then to find yourself confined to your home, I think that whilst you don't see yourself as a hero, yes, you raised this money, Paul, but everybody then on a Saturday night knew, as well as you, there were other local people as well, were going to keep us entertained. So we couldn't do what we were familiar with in popping down to the Lord Dragon, as you said, but we were able to tune into Paul Barsi. We know that we'd have, a great evening of singing, but we knew it was for a good cause as well. So
yeah, it was. And people, again, if you bumped into people, or I'd have messages and they'd say, it's Saturday because Barsi's playing, which was really lovely. And again, they're unprecedented times, and we'll probably never have it again, will we?
No.
It'll never happen again, hopefully. And it's just, it's been really lovely.
Yeah,
it's been really, really lovely. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself.
Good. Well, I hope it never happens again. What I can do, though, Paul, is thank you on behalf of all the people of Merthyr Tydfil, certainly on behalf of all those staff that work in the NHS, for raising those funds as well. And as I said, for keeping us singing, and dancing during lockdown every Saturday night.
Thank you, that's very kind.
Any plans for another concert?
I mentioned earlier, Cameron Trowbridge, who's a fantastic young singer. He would do his gig after mine on the Saturday. Then Scott Pritchard, again, who's a fantastic singer guitarist, he would do his live gig on the Sunday. So we've got together, and to finish it all off, because they've stopped doing their after 10 weeks, so all came to a natural end, really. So we're planning in 3 weeks' time, we're going to do a gig with the three of us, and that's going to be live streamed. And hopefully then, because we're just over £9,000 now, hopefully that'll take it to the 10,000, or help to get it that, and then we can put it to bed then, and it'll be an end of an era, really, won't it?
End of an era.
Yeah, absolutely.
Part of an exhibition, hopefully.
That would be great. Yeah.
And
do you know Andrew Barry?
I do know Andrew Barry.
Yeah, well, he promised me that he would put it in the museum.
I'm sure Andrew will follow through on that process. And he'll talk to all of our lovely friends and Christopher Parry and everybody at the castle. I'm sure he'll organise something for you. But Paul, thank you so much once again on behalf of everybody in Merthyr Tydfil.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Really kept us entertained. It's been wonderful. So thanks again.
Thanks for this. This is awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Just one day.